A man loses everything. So why did this one hit like a thunderclap? Start with the man at the center. Russell Crowe doesn't play Maximus loud. He plays him quiet. A soldier carved down to grief and duty. He barely raises his voice, and somehow that makes him more dangerous. You believe he's tired. You believe he's grieving. You believe he could kill every man in that arena and feel nothing. That restraint was radical. Old epics gave you heroes who postured and declared. Crowe gave you a hero who mostly wanted to go home to his wife and son, and couldn't because they were dead. His revenge isn't glorious. It's the only thing he has left. And here's the detail most people miss. Crowe reportedly clashed with the script constantly, improvising lines he preferred, reshaping the character as they went. One of the film's most famous moments was born from that friction. He wins a brutal fight, the crowd goes silent, and instead of basking in it, he explodes at them. Are you not entertained? It's rage aimed straight at the audience that came to watch him bleed. Think about how bold that is. In the middle of a crowd-pleasing action movie, the hero turns and shames the crowd for enjoying the violence. He shames us, the people watching him in the arena, and the people watching him on the screen. It's a movie about spectacle that dares to ask whether we should feel good about spectacle at all. Now here's the strange part. The thing that makes Gladiator immortal isn't the biggest battle. It's the smallest, quietest habit. Throughout the film, Maximus keeps small carved figures of his wife and son. He touches soil before he fights, pressing dirt between his fingers, a farmer's ritual carried into hell. He's a warrior who dreams of a field of wheat and a house with a door he can walk through. Every sword he swings is aimed at one thing: getting back to a family that no longer exists. That's the open loop I promised you. The movie sets up an impossible reunion. A man fighting his way home when home is gone. And you spend 2 hours wondering how a story can possibly pay that off. Hold that thought, because while the emotion runs deep, the scale runs enormous. The opening battle in the frozen German forest is chaos made cinema. Fire, mud, arrows, and a general who fights beside his men, instead of watching from a hill. Then, Rome itself, rebuilt through visual effects into a living, breathing city. The Colosseum roars back to life, packed with tens of thousands, sunlight cutting through the dust. And this is where Gladiator quietly rewrote the rulebook. It fused two things the genre had kept apart: the intimate character study and the massive spectacle. Most old epics were huge but hollow. Lots of extras, not much heart. Gladiator made you care about one grieving man, and then surrounded that man with an empire. You feel the size of Rome, precisely because you're anchored to something small and human inside it. The music does half the work and asks for no credit. Those aching vocals over the wheat fields, the pounding drums before the kill. That score taught a generation of filmmakers how a trailer should feel. Listen to almost any epic that came after, and you'll hear its ghost. And then there's the villain. Commodus isn't a monster in armor. He's a wounded child who wanted his father's love and got contempt instead. He's petty, jealous, insecure, and that makes him terrified, because you understand him. The hero and the villain are two versions of the same wound. One man lost his family and stayed noble. The other never had his father's respect and turned poisonous. That's not a comic book bad guy. That's a tragedy with a crown. Now let's talk about what happened when it opened. Nobody expected much, and it detonated. Gladiator grossed over $500 million worldwide, proving the dead genre could pack theaters again. Then came award season, and it swept. The film won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and Russell Crowe took Best Actor for Maximus. That Best Picture win carried a strange footnote. Gladiator won the top prize without winning Best Director, breaking a record that had stood for over 50 years and hasn't been repeated the same way since. A movie that shouldn't have worked, made from an unfinished script, walked away with Hollywood's highest honor. And the aftershock reshaped an entire decade. Look at the flood that followed. Troy, Alexander, Kingdom of Heaven, 300, The Last Samurai. Suddenly, every studio wanted armies, honor, and a brooding warrior with a dead family and a cause. The historical epic wasn't buried anymore. It was the hottest ticket in town. Every one of those films is walking a path Maximus cut through the mud first. But imitators kept copying the battles and missing the point. They gave you bigger armies and forgot the small carved figures. They gave you spectacle and forgot the soil pressed between a soldier's fingers. Gladiator worked because underneath all that armor, it was about a man who just wanted to go home. The scale was never the soul. The grief was. Which brings us back to that impossible promise the movie made. A man fighting his way home when home no longer exists. How do you pay that off? You already know, if you've seen it. Maximus gets his revenge, but it costs him his life. And as he lies dying in the arena, the film doesn't cut to triumph. It cuts to a golden field, a door, a wife and a son waiting. He walks toward them at last. The only reunion available to him is the one on the other side of death. That's why the ending devastates instead of celebrates. He didn't win his life back. He won his way home. The soil, the figures, the field of wheat. Every quiet detail was building to that single walk through the wheat. The loop closes on the exact image the whole movie promised. And that's the real reason Gladiator redefined the epic. Not the CGI Colosseum, not the record-breaking Oscars, not even that furious cry to the crowd. It proved that the biggest stories only land when they're built on the smallest, most human ache. An empire is just scenery. A man wanting to see his family again is the whole world. So, the next time some new blockbuster promises you a return of the epic, watch closely. Does it give you an army, or does it give you a reason to cry when one man closes his eyes? Because a general once turned to a screaming crowd and asked if they were entertained. 20 plus years later, we still haven't stopped answering yes. And we still haven't made another one quite like him.